Season 6 is swiftly approaching, so join me as we look through the most hype and anticipated moments, coming December 30th.
What took you so long?
As you well know, Ubbe is one of my favorite characters in this show, so I have to begin with his journey across the Atlantic to discover the Golden Land, or as we call it, North America. I cannot wait to see Ubbe explore North America. Clashing with this new culture out of nowhere in this new land is going to spark the best parts of Ubbe and his curiosity to be able to learn and interact with these new people. Vikings began as a story about foreign invaders arriving in new land out of nowhere and the huge chain of consequences that happened from that. Some of the most powerful moments and scenes we had in those first seasons of Vikings was those initial meetings between these foreign powers. It reminds me so much of Ragnar running into random groups of the English, having to try and interact with them and learn each other's cultures and understanding whether they're a threat or not. So exploring all that is going to be super fun, and we know the actor for Ubbe is just so good at portraying him. So for me, the make or break of the storyline will be whether they can capture that spirit of Ragnar in Ubbe and show that to us all to kind of close out that story really well.
You'll never walk again. But you will fly.
Since Oleg has been introduced into Vikings, he has been one of the most standout characters for sure. In the space of 10 episodes, we've seen this loud, interesting character over and over again get built up to be the most fascinating villain of the series. So for me, it's not hard to imagine that his death will be one of the coolest moments of Season 6. For the beginning half of the season, we've had Ivar playing around with him, using him for his armies and his revenge, but we know that Ivar is deeply disturbed by Oleg and is working to undermine and get rid of him. We saw how concerned Ivar was when he heard that quote from Oleg saying that his army would be the end of paganism, the end of the Norse gods. So Ivar's going to have a hand in his death for sure. But it seems from the foreshadowing and what we've got so far, the tool he's using, the person who will be the incubus to kill Oleg, is actually Igor. We've seen Ivar plant the idea in his head that all that stands in the way of his dreams and desires for him ruling this land is Oleg. And it will be so interesting to see how all the planning and plotting he's done with Prince Dur and this cultivated friendship and idea he's built up with Igor will amount to one epic takedown of what could be one of the greatest villains of this show. I still think one of the most twisted ways they could do it is with Igor leaning down as he's dying and barking in his ear, but that's just my twisted sense of humor. Now this next one was actually something you guys brought to my attention in the comments of my previous video that I knew nothing about beforehand. And the snake we see here in the trailer is actually Jörmungandr. In Norse mythology, this is the child of Floki, and it's supposed to surround the entire earth, grasping onto its own tail with its mouth. And supposedly, one of the signs for the coming of Ragnarok is the violent unrest of the sea as Jörmungandr releases its tail from its mouth and thrashes it way into the land. So when Ubbe sees this out at sea, whether it's actually a real vision or it's just him being delirious like we were talking about before in the video, it does symbolize and play into the theme that we've been having for quite some time, that what we're seeing right now is Ragnarok, the breakdown of the Viking era, or more in terms of the show, the end of the story and legends of the characters we are following. So I'm actually way more excited to see how much of an impact that has on the series, and of course it's Ubbe, so you gotta love it. Oh yeah, and Alfred's back. Let's face it, Bjorn has not had a good Season 6. We have seen him suffer and fail and stumble and fall. And the Bjorn that we find at the beginning of episode 11 will be injured, broken, and defeated. It feels like the writers are giving no chance for him to redeem himself, no way to have a happy ending, to move forward, to succeed. Bjorn has been around since Season 1, we've seen him grow and develop and face challenges, and to see this tragic, sad end is just heartbreaking. We want Bjorn to succeed, to do better, to rise up, and I feel that there is one last moment for him to do just that. Even if he is broken, even if he is facing unprecedented odds, he'll have one last stand, one chance to go out like a Viking. For him to strap on his armor, pull up his sword, sling himself on the back of a horse, and lead the Vikings forward. Even if Ivar and Oleg and the Rus have discounted him, believe him dead, he will get one more chance to prove that he truly is Ironside. And the name Bjorn is still one worth fearing. Thanks for watching this quick little video I did, just going through some of the moments that I'm really hyped for in the next season. Now I'd love to hear in the comment section below what kind of characters you're focusing on, what story you want to see, and even if there's an individual plot point that you really hope they put in before they close out the series. Only 11 more days to go!